in the like pre-stream screen. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Cool. I'll do an announcement. Say we're live then. Half an hour early.
I guess we might get some people watching that have their matches in half an hour. That'd be good. Give it a minute.
I like how every time I want to like activate the streams live, the Discord's like, Are you sure you want to ping that many people?
Yeah, it does love to do that. Pretty
Actually, what I can do is I can prepare a poll.
Oh, we gotta remember to download the games at some point as well to put on the channel.
Yes, I can do that actually. New poll. I can't spell. There we go. And
Who needs to spell?
there, the poll is ready to go when I want it to.
Perfect.
We're somewhat ready. Half an hour early.
Yep. I guess we'll wait a little bit for some people to trickle in.
Yeah. We're not muted at all, by the way. It's just this is like a
we're just talking, you know,
a scuffed
getting the...
start to a stream.
That's
or
just the
a very
classic.
chill
Love the
Sunday.
classic.
Yeah, it's
Very
like
chill Sunday.
Is it really one of our streams if it's not super scuffed?
Scuffed.
That's what I mean. I feel like scuffed is the way to
Exactly.
go. Well, to be fair, I did say this would be live at 6.
Yeah, I had also told people it would be live at 6, but we can talk about the games beforehand for a little while, and then for half an hour. Yeah, sure.
Maybe not for half an hour. Just a couple of minutes, because like it's a VOD game. We can just hit play whenever. I don't actually know how long the game is, what the games are.
Well,
But considering
let's not spoil it.
yeah, actually, I'll hold my tongue there.
So pinged everyone. Not got just sitting on a few viewers. Let some more trickle in. Maybe we'll wait until it hits like 8, something like that, and then we'll go.
Is that how you're gonna do this? It's just like, oh, we've got to hit 8 viewers, or you know, no stream today.
No, I just mean give some time for people to like come in, because we
Yeah.
did say we'd start at 6, and this is just pinging people. And
Yeah, that is true. We can hang off
Yeah.
for a minute. It means I can play some Pokemon Go again.
when is Guardians of the Rift? Well, Guardians of the Rift versus guys in real life is gonna be later on, probably in
So yeah, that game's 2 hours time. They said
2
about
hours.
7:30, didn't they?
Yep. It all depends on how quickly they finish their other matches. They basically agreed that they would go straight on to the Coral matches after
After the ESDL matches. So yeah, latest. Well, they're guessing about 7:30 for their match. But it
so we
could
might
be
get a
earlier.
little break.
Yeah.
Or we might not. We'll have to find out.
Go win. Oh, I like this because Jolyu and Girl I think are the two sort of favourites at the moment to.
I mean, they both won their first games 2-0. So
Fairly clean
yeah,
wins, to be fair. But I think
whoever wins here takes spot number 1.
I think something to remember is the fact that when GOTR played to SAS in week 1, they were playing with 3 subs, I think it was. So I don't want to like say SAS are completely out the running as a top spot team.
I think as well we had SAS were not in the best position. I think they had a few, ended up subbing a couple of people, and their ADC was obviously having issues, and Yeah, so I don't think we can infer too much from those games. Just they had some games which were somewhat messy, but they did get the 2-0, which is what matters in the end.
So what we can do is only put a little countdown up from
For when we'll go.
yeah, for when we'll start the game.
When we'll start the game. Oh, okay. How long are we giving ourselves to talk around it?
Should we just give it another 5 minutes and then?
Which team has more weaknesses or too early to evaluate? It's probably too early to evaluate. We've only seen them play it a couple of times. I think this next game between the two of them will be really telling because I think Giotiar have a clear win condition around which most of their games are probably won. I think we'll have to see how Girl play around that.
Yeah, because I think GOTR and Girl are like one of the only matchups we've seen. Oh, that we haven't seen even. That's a better way to say that. Because a lot of the teams we've seen scrim each other or come like up against each other in the SDL. But I don't think, and correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think we've seen GOTR versus Girl. And I don't think they've scrimmed either. So I think that's going to be
so.
I think that's an interesting one to watch.
It'll be an interesting one to watch. I think Girl look more well-rounded, but whether that's going to be good enough to beat, I mean, let's not mince words. I think Dot is the best player on GOTR. I think if they're going to take their win, that's where they're going to take it from, mid lane. So I think it'll be interesting to see how Girl adapt to the fact
So you
that
think
that's
in
quite
this
clearly
in this matchup later that the Dot into Preston matchup is going to be almost game deciding?
considering how much I feel GOTR rely on Dot for their game plan and for him to get ahead, it does seem to be that that matchup will really affect how the outcome of the game is. I don't think you can count out GOTR's bot lane either.
No, I was going to say
Tenno
had
about that.
Some good games last week actually. I think game 2 on Caitlyn, so when I was doing the stat sheet, GOTR was a really annoying one to do the stats for because so many of them had 0 deaths and I had to... So the way the KDA function works is it literally just adds your kills, assists and divides by your deaths, which is easy. But when you've got no deaths across multiple games, it just breaks because it's just like, how do I divide by 0? So yeah, I had to spend ages relearning Excel and how do I fix this? How do I just make it ignore zeros? So yeah, thanks GOTR for not dying and making my life just a little bit harder.
This is not a live game versus Madly Mediocre, no. Buffalo, this is a vodcasted game they played on Friday, but we haven't had... Was it Friday?
Yeah, so they played on Friday when we were casting GOTR Red against Valkyrie 5. Yeah, so this is the VOD game for when that was happening at the same time. But yeah, in 3 minutes we'll go.
We've given quite a few times. Is 3 minutes we'll start talking about the actual game, or 3 minutes we start the game?
3 minutes we'll start the game, so we can start talking about the game now.
Okay, so Aguias versus Madly Mediocre. In terms of straight up ranks of players, you give the slight edge here to Madly Mediocre. I think the biggest discrepancy is in that mid lane, where Madly Mediocre have their gold 2 mid laner in Christensen, and Aguias have their silver 4 mid laner in Riley. Whether that will come out in any way in the games, we'll have to see. Something else to watch, I think, is potentially that bottom lane. Lee Sin, Roland, of course, was moved to support. We haven't seen too much out of him yet, so I think it'll be interesting to see.
I think the last time we saw Slugs themselves and Lee Sin rolling really, had this all across the game, such a solid performance. And if I remember right, and I might be wrong, because it was more than 2 days ago, I think there was a hard carry coming out from this bot lane.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly. The other point to note is that we haven't seen Aguias that much, so it'll be interesting to see. They do have their top laner subbed in for this game, Dracosi. Friend is subbed in for top lane. So I have to see how that affects their gameplay. In terms of what that means for champions, it's more towards the bruiser type champions in the top lane as opposed to tanks. Or at least that's how his pool seems to look when you look at his profile. Or we'll have to see whether they choose to put him on the bruisers or whether they default him to tanks to round out team comp. I suppose if we're going to go straight into the game, we can talk about what they actually picked as well.
Yeah,
that might be a good thing to do.
I don't want to open up the screen because for me to hit play, because for some reason my binding's but for me to hit play, it will show you the all the results of the game. So I'm going to hit play and then swap scenes once I've hidden that part. But yeah.
Okay, so for Aguias in the top lane, Dracosi Friend is on the Ornn, so he does have a tank. It's a spellbook on, so I have to see whether he makes good use of that spellbook. For A main, I'm just going to call him main. For main in the jungle, we have the Hecarim. For Riley in the mid lane, we have the Diana, which is not something I knew that he played. He has played some ranked games of it. We'll have to see how he performs on that. Hyde on Arbusto. In the bot lane has Jhin, and Sora has the Leona. So Jhin Leona can output a lot of sudden damage. On the other side for Madly Mediocre, Joshua's got that Renekton in the top lane. He's using Press the Attack, so it's going to be more trying to be lane dominant against the Ornn. Mercius is playing Nunu in the jungle, so we'll have to see whether he uses the fact that he wins early well to invade a lot. Christensen has Annie in the mid lane, so obviously can bully out the Diana quite a lot early, but we wouldn't expect the Annie to be able to get a lot of pressure in terms of pushing, because Annie has to spend almost her entire mana pool just to push a wave in any sort of quick time limit. Slick Some Snails in the bot lane is playing one of his favourites, Tristana, but he's got his hands on, and Lee Sin Me Rolling has the Nami, which is, I think, his most played or second most played support, and Nami is always a strong support. We'll have to see whether they can do that well into Jhin Leona. I think places to watch here is how the jungle matchup goes, whether main is able to really farm up on that Hecarim, or if he's interrupted a lot by Mercius. Maybe Joshua comes to help using the fact that he has push in the top lane, and how their bot lane works out in the end.
Yeah.
Oh, of course, we got the classic starting. Guess what you forgot? Turn off.
One at least it's before the game. On quick Ioriaa for accept. And should we do a countdown to play?
Sure.
In 3, 2, 1. Play, and then I can hide that and swap scenes. Look how clean that was as the wave comes down, champions are spawning. And we're in to game number 1 of AE versus MM. There's like fans are going to come out from AE as they're pinging that on the map.
In terms of builds, we see nothing of interest really.
The invade coming out from Madly Mediocre here.
We do actually see the AD support item from Leona as opposed to AP. Interesting choice.
Sora's going to be the first one to walk up. Bubble doesn't land on Sora's. Flash comes out.
Flash, I think that's fine. Decides not to sidestep backwards just in case Renekton's taken W. Or I don't think he'd seen the Annie, so Annie could have had stun from taking W first. So flash there and just make sure you don't give over the first blood. That is quite bad for the bot lane though. Leona not having flash means they're a lot more punishable. There's actually an argument there for that you should just never flash, and even if you give up first blood, that's fine, because it's a lot better for you to have your flash in lane. Now, in terms of where I think we should look for action, I expect not really many kills to be coming out in this mid and top lane. I think it's just quite clear which team should be bullying the other one. I would really look towards this bottom lane, especially with the Leona without flash. You see that about a quarter of the time is already up, but we'll have to see how that's punished.
I'll be interested to see if A's bot lane still go for the level 2, considering that Sora doesn't have that flash anymore. But actually, Mercius coming up after red buff, looking straight into a level 2 bot lane. Snowball is channeling. Bubble won't land.
Sidestep at the
These
bubble.
are taking a lot of damage, but there's a lot of damage onto Arbusto as well. Forced to flash away. But the Xenoblade
Ooh.
turn's not quite going to connect.
I think if that had hit from Sora, that was going to almost certainly be a confirmed kill. They do have the heal on Slugs, but
that is both flashes from AE's bot lane in return for just the one exhaust from Madly Mediocre. So, you know, 2 minutes in, already on the back foot, actually jumping in from Slugs themselves, turning around with the Xenoblade, but doesn't have level 2 for the stun, so the last auto from Slugs themselves will explode that satchel charge. That's 6 satchel charge. God, it's been a long day.
that bomb from Tristana.
That one.
That one, exactly.
You know what it is.
Of course, we all know what it is. We all know that it's the explosive charge.
Yeah, that's the one. Speaking of the
Just
explosive
testing
charge,
you.
already going on to the tower, and probably get that first plating. Actually, no, Buster is coming back to the lane, but Xenoblade to go in, landing on Lisa Miron. Ignite is going to come down.
Nice use.
Root's not going to land. Lisa Miron will be safe to walk away, and actually saw themselves
Buster's
jumping
in
underneath that tower. We'll get the last auto onto Sora. Meanwhile, Buster is in lane.
Here's
in
main
with
though.
that
They get out.
charge, yeah.
Unfortunately,
I
think it
haven't
was
warmed
quite
up today.
telling. I think it was quite telling there that Leona actually dodged the explosive charge on the tower. I think it's a lot better in these situations. You actually stay close to the tower, get hit by the explosive charge, but you try and time your CC in time with the bomb going off. So you CC the Tristana as the charge goes off, and it aggroes the tower onto her. So there's just a bit of thoughts on how you play it, really. But very unfortunate for this bot lane not going in their favour. That Tristana is going to be a real problem for them.
Especially as both his kills went on to Tristana. Actually, Joshua
really
in this
nice trade
top
in the top lane.
Draco looking really low even without Mercius' help. Didn't even need it. The snowball was there for moral support. Joshua just mowing down Draco at level 4.
So an interesting thing here is On was sitting on 500 gold. Could have backed off and bought an extra item or component just to have that extra lane pressure and didn't. That's just a small thing on you should always remember to do, is to spend your gold to get that extra pressure. Just an extra cloth armor there, for example, or even boots probably would have saved his life.
At least from Joshua alone, considering Mercius was there. It's going to be tough to escape. Right, I think heavy trades in this mid lane, diving in with that E despite having opinion disadvantage there. And Christensen flashing well. Meanwhile, in spot lane again, it's like themselves jumping in. We got the TP coming in from Joshua. Sora in for the engage despite the TP, and the bubble will land on him. Sora now left to run away, but with no summoners. That'll be another kill going in for this bot lane of Madly Mediocre.
And honestly, a nice TP from Joshua. He sees Ornn is not actually freezing the lane, and realizes that it's going to take Ornn so long to kill the minions anyway that he has time to TP down.
And Soul
Make some
Dragon
plays
as well.
on the map, and then get back up to top lane before anything really happens.
Yeah, they're going to pull this dragon out. Main
Mediocre
and
is on the
Ruddy
way.
are in the area. They don't have vision on the dragon itself, just around the
I'd
area.
expect
And
them
as
to just give
Mercius
this up.
shows up, it's hard to outsmart Nunu with the consume and
He
smite.
might just go for a smite and E away.
No, but Bubble will actually land on him.
Well,
Small
I mean,
stutter from MM there.
all you really lose there is a little bit of time on your Hecarim. Not great, but you know, it's whatever.
Not great, but it's whatever.
It's whatever. I'd like to point out here, Drakasy will be able to get that plate. I would expect him to back off and actually spend some of that gold using his Ornn shop.
Yeah,
We'll have to
interestingly,
see
even
whether
with
he uses it
that
yet. He hasn't
extra-
actually used it yet.
Yeah, with that extra wave he farmed and the plating, is still 400 gold behind Joshua on that Renekton.
It's very important he picks up the early Ninja Tabby into a Bramble Vest, because that will allow him to actually trade and stand a chance in this lane with the Renekton. So he actually already has 1 cloth armor.
Interesting, it hasn't gone for that reset yet.
Doesn't even need to reset. You should just be building here.
If we pan up to
Pause,
the
so
top lane, have
I'm
a
guessing
look.
he's looking at the shop. No?
No, not pan, not shopping just yet.
Oh,
Not
here we go.
building.
He's decided.
There we go. Going for the build. Dracosi will be picking up that Balmy Cinder.
Balmy Cinder, I don't like that.
That was neither of the 2 items you wanted.
None of the items are.
Actually, meanwhile in this top lane, they're looking to invade onto main. Will be able to speed himself out. Actually, pops that Ghost despite the rest of Mediocre not chasing onto him. So that's Ghost away for main.
Well played from Madly.
And actually, Joshua dashing over the wall now with no Ghost. Main taking a lot of damage from that pressy attack.
Oh,
throws that blast cone, but Mercius is right there. But actually doesn't manage to connect the snowball. Joshua will flash over the wall too. Not quite finished main off. Christian's there with the stun. But actually, he turns back, does take that last auto, and finish off main. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, meanwhile in the mid lane, actually, a huge ultimate from Riley. Does trade onto Christensen, but will fall himself. Overall, a 3 for 2, as we did see a 1 for 1 in this bot lane. Shutdown gold on to slug some sales.
The bot lane, you do have to remember that's an extra 150 gold onto the Jhin just because of the shutdown, which will really help him coming back into this lane. I'm not sure how much damage he has. Is this a tourney? It is a league, so it's played over a number of weeks. We're looking at the lower brackets here, so the teams in the lower bracket are probably average around gold 4. So don't expect amazing map play, but I'm always up to be surprised.
We like being surprised. I tell you what, speaking of surprises, in this lower league, Sandarius on Friday. Oh, I'm still not over that.
Doing really well on the Ashe.
That game 1 Ashe. I'm not over it yet. But yes, anyway, back to this game. We are approaching this 10-minute mark, and as it is pointed out in chat, there is already a 3,000 gold lead over to Madly Mediocre.
Yep, you do have to remember though, Madly Mediocre do have Ornn, they do have Hecarim. They have 2 champions there.
Actually, meanwhile in this bot lane,
scale.
A huge engage on main. At least
really nice
deleted from
really
the map there.
Really nice CC, and actually great that it gets onto the Jhin.
So if you were at this point, you know, you've got that bot lane shutdown gold. Do you keep investing in this bot lane, trying to get a Buster ahead, or is this time to turn to top lane? Actually, speaking of bot lane, the skirmishes are not done as Mercedes comes in and gets a nice look up on Sora. Tries to go for that rune on Buster, but Sora is there to slow down some cells. Actually, a lot of damage coming out, but the ultimate from Mercedes will
this should be a
down, but a nice onslaught of shadows from main.
Slow is used.
We'll almost finish on Mercedes, but the Nami wave will turn them away.
So, yeah, I would expect you want to focus probably on either the bot lane or the mid lane. Personally, I'd quite like to see it focus on the mid lane if you can get the Diana ahead enough.
Speaking of mid lane, Riley going for that engage. Flash for that final auto. Tibbers will not save Christensen, but it could turn out for the 1 for 1. Riley using that E to dash away. Tibbers will not quite finish her off. Joshua's there. Uses minions to get the double dash. Cutlass will get the slow into that final WQ. Joshua will return that 1 for 1.
Okay, so as I was going to say, I would quite like to see them focusing towards the mid lane, because if you can get the Diana ahead enough, she can one-shot Annie. That pretty much gives you global pressure from the mid lane. And that is really useful. You can then start moving that Diana, roaming with her, getting your bot lane ahead, getting your Ornn further into the game. The fact Ornn is sitting so far back here is interesting.
He's looking for the reset. His wave not quite crashing into tower. It's not a great reset time from him. Meanwhile, we do see the rest of MM picking up the second dragon. Is going to be a cloud. So we are looking at either an Infernal or an Ocean Rift. Yeah, call the fourth god as well. The headbutt is not going to land. The red team will secure that dragon, but main caught in the rest of the dragon pit. Joshua taking a lot of damage from the rest of AE, but still surviving on the side here. Using that Triumph gold to keep himself alive, but will be finished off by Sora. Then meanwhile, the rest of MM finishing off Riley. And now in the 3v4, Christensen left on the outside here. Leaving wrong, we've blown up there by Draco and Sora, but now with just Draco and Sora alive, they cannot get Slugs themselves and will be able to finish off Sora with a flash of will actually would save him, but Draco will be falling. Slugs themselves looking for that final kill there. But without the W, it's looking like a 4 for 2 overall.
Ouch. They decide to take the fight, and it just goes horribly for them. They don't manage to get the priority targets. Joshua actually manages to live long enough there, turn the fight, and the shutdown gold from Joshua goes on to the Leona.
Not where AE wanted that gold to be going.
Personally, here, I don't like the Leona's build. It looks like she's building towards a Randuin's, which work specifically into the Tristana, but Tristana's not going to be trying to hit Leona. I'd prefer to see a Knight's Vow. I'd prefer to see I can't remember off the top of my head now. The item which you can use the active to speed yourself up. When you get near an enemy, it slows them. Haha, that one.
That item indeed. Actually, Riley caught in a little bit of trouble here in the 4v1. A nice bubble from Leeson Roland will hold him in place. Christian actually doesn't have enough mana to finish him off, and it'll be Mercius slapping him, leaving Christian in that last key worth of damage.
He should have known that was coming. They just took the Rift Herald. As soon as he saw that, he should have been moving down towards the bottom river.
Now Joshua, aggressive enough to walk into Maze Jungle, forcing that ultimate away from him. Will steal that blue buff. And as well, meanwhile, in the mid lane, that Rift Herald will be summoned, trying to force that first tower down. Actually, sorry on his engage. Leeson Roland will be dodging that silver equips there. But huge damage from Robusto will finish him off.
So not the cleanest tower dive, but they do manage to get it.
Actually, Slugs themselves turns around for a 1-for-1 in the bot lane. We'll finish off that as 1-for-1. Use that jump reset to go onto Robusto. Use that ultimate to push him away, but flash heals forward. Heal coming out from Robusto as well. And one auto attack more, and Slugs themselves will pick that up as a double kill. Meanwhile, the mid lane, that second tower does fall. But everyone's still alive. Just about.
Okay,
Bloodbath is the right word to use for this game. 24 kills in 13 minutes.
And you've got to feel a little sorry for the Hecarim here. Madly Mediocre played this quite well, just invading constantly into the Hecarim. I'm not sure he's had a blue buff past the first one. And you can see just more and more buffs are getting stolen from him, and he can't get up to that 2-item spike that he really needs to be a very useful champion in this game.
Yeah, the all 5 of Madly Mediocre just coming to this bot lane, make sure they can secure this last outer tower here. And there's nothing that Sora, Hydrabusto, or Draco can do here.
Dan is coming down, but I honestly think she should have just stayed mid in that situation. They don't want to take the 4v5 here. Even if they had a 5v5, they wouldn't want to take it. I think you just stay for that extra damage on the mid tower.
Yeah,
Diana can really shove towers quickly.
If AE can open up that mid tower, that is really, really good for them. But Riley opting push the wave and then roam down to bot side. Didn't really achieve much for himself there. Having a quick look at vision actually over the map. AE have recovered the vision on this bottom side of the map in their bottom jungle. Top side's not looking so safe, but actually all Mad and Mediocre, never mind, actually engaging onto Joshua here. Mercius is there to follow up. Joshua actually playing aggressively, but stuns a minion. Robusto will be taking a lot of damage there and finished off there. Joshua using that Triumph health to get back. And actually, Sora couldn't finish him off.
Yeah, I think walking back into the lane there was just... Yeah, Robusto walks back into the lane and ultimately it gets him killed because it allows the Nunu Snowball to actually come and hit him.
Meanwhile, in the top lane, they're looking to get a gap onto Draco. The bubble doesn't connect, all of the Forge God is used, but huge damage from that explosive charge.
Damage!
Finished before he could even headbutt the Forge God.
So the Sunfire Cape is finally finished on the Ornn, but you can see boots aren't finished. He actually chose to go with slightly magical boots, which is why he can pick up early Ninja Tabby. Early Ninja Tabby are so
Ninja Tabby are
massive into Renekton. They're so massive into Renekton, and honestly, I think in this game, this is one of those games where you say, the Ornn items aren't what's going to really matter this game. I need to make it to the late game where I can start building my own items. Because if you don't...
Justin on his own here, misses the Tibbers. Forced to flash away, but not quite going to land. Riding in for that second dash again. We'll finish him off and get that nice shutdown goal. Now it's Mercius and Joshua on their own. Forced to back off. Tibbers just going to get last few autos there, but that's big. There's no mid laner for this dragon coming up. AE are in position ready.
Does mean that AE don't have much damage left.
It's 4v4.
Their team does rely pretty much on Jhin at the moment.
Looking for that engage. Oh, ultimate is not ready, but the nice solar flare landing on 2. So themselves falling, and now with just Joshua, Mercius, and Leeson rolling. But huge ultimate actually from Mercius, doing a lot of damage there. Sora and Greycrows are the only ones alive, but no damage will come out now as Leeson rolling able to heal on their way. Sora falling, and it's just Draco alive as Joshua with that Dominus.
Nami did so much work there on the backside. Yeah, mispositioning there from Robusto means that the enemy team is able to just come in and hit him.
Doesn't connect.
Wave does
It's looking
miss.
like This is looking like Draco will be able to get away here. Meanwhile, of course, we do see Mercius finishing that third dragon for Madly Mediocre. One away from that Infernal Soul.
Yeah, so here we see the classic we must fight mentality that you get a lot in lower elo games. This is one where AE really should be thinking about where their team comp really gets online and where it starts to become really strong, which is when Ornn starts to give those items out. When he can give that first item to the Jhin, you should not really be taking any fights before then. That first item to the Jhin is massive. You can see Ornn hasn't even gotten self items yet.
Actually, Main in his own jungle, going to get caught out in the 1v3.
Oh.
Tivers, just a couple of autos from Slugs themselves, and it's enough to blow him up. But yeah, as you're saying, we're not even close to Ornn items yet. And considering, you know, mid inhib has got only its tower left, and we've got one outer tower in top and bot, the amount that Emma have been able to push this in, it's looking pretty tragic for AE. So my voice dies a little bit there.
And you can see Hecarim's been forced to not build Triforce, so this is going to be a tank Hecarim, which is very unfortunate. It's not something you really want to see. Personally, I think I might have liked to see him go Black Cleaver instead.
Draco gonna get caught out.
Draco.
They die before I really even get a chance to say what's happening, and I think that's really the state of this game. The fact that Slugs and Sails can jump in with that explosive charge.
Oh, Abusso was getting close there.
Doesn't dodge the solar flare from Sora, and just
nice
that
CC chain. Beautiful CC chain from AE.
Unfortunately, that main.
You can see there's still life in this game.
Second tower going to be using the top lane, opening that up. Won't actually get the charge on the first tower, which means it's going to be full health, ready for this second tower. Joshua in the bot lane does have TP available.
Now you know what? A part of me wants to see AE just give up this.
Wave comes out. Slugs and Sails looking to finish that tower. Will actually get rooted, but will manage to get that W back with teleport coming out from Joshua already. Engaged from Riley. Will use that ultimate releasing roll, but flashes away. Now caught in the back line. Be nice stun from Joshua. Will finish him off. Cool, the forward tilt kind of come out. Is he going to get the headbutt this time? Will not get the headbutt. And Slugs and Sails will finish him off there. It's just Sora, Main, and Obusso with Sora left to run away, but just Slugs and Sails and Joshua there to melt through their health bar. All of this without Christensen in the fight.
Jhin into high health targets.
Stun not quite going to land. Rooted onto Joshua. He's looking pretty low. The Slugs and Sails looking to finish that tower.
How much is Obusso feeling himself here? They can turn this if they play it well.
Zenith Blade was looking for it, but didn't connect. And I'm going to open up that inhib tower, but not going to finish.
And then just open it up. They don't take the inhib because they know it's not going to give them too much at the moment. That inhib being near the Baron, and the fact that
nice bubble and heal for Sora still running forward in the 2v4. At least he's rolling a lot of damage. He'll not save him. Sora will turn that 1-for-1 support for support.
One kill picked up.
And MM left to back off. It did save the inhibitor tower.
So, the reason leaving up the inhib here is good is the big points that's going to help get AE back into the game is that extra XP on Ornn that will get him the Ornn items and the extra gold that will get, well, more Ornn items for the team and actually get Hecarim to be a good champion. So not taking the inhib here means that super minions aren't pushing down that top lane and Ornn isn't getting as much XP as he would have been getting had you killed the inhibitor. And that will slow down the rate at which they can output Ornn items to the rest of their team.
Although you say Ornn items are about 6,000 gold, right?
Ornn items tend to be worth about 1,000 each.
Yeah, so about 6,000 overall. Even with that, if you give AE 6,000 gold here, there's still another 5,000 behind MM.
They are. But you have to look at where the gold is situated. There is a lot of gold sitting on the Jhin right now. And Jhin with extra damage on his crits.
Oh, Sora of the Engage does catch out, at least me rolling, and then with the ultimate from Main as well, will finish him off. But has he dived too far as Mercius does get that ultimate into the root? Sora actually going for another engage, catches out Slugs and Sails with a double CC combo. Slugs and Sails actually still taking no damage. Forge got finally connected. Mercy's taking a lot of damage, but will be able to get away. Now Slugs and Sails is left to finish off for the Quadra. Or Christensen.
Ouch. A almost managed to turn out there. Unfortunately, the target selection wasn't really on their side.
Yeah, Sora had this beautiful engage onto Slugs himself, stopped the W with the Solar Flare, had the Zenith Blade and that Q all land. And the Forge God finally landed, you know, the sort of shadows landed, but there was just no damage to follow it up, so Slugs themselves was full health after all of that. And then there was nothing to stop him.
Right, so here you have to choose whether they're going to take their backs or go for this dragon. If they choose to take the backs instead of going for the dragon, it's possible that AE could get a steal here. Nunu is attempting to solo it.
Is it 4k health? The rest of AE aren't in the area. Still in this mid lane. We see we're on looking to be a ward. That'd be Infernal Soul secured for MM.
4 dragons straight into Soul. AE is in a very tight spot here.
Righty, just looking for those pigs into Lee Roland. Just trying to get any gold income he can there. We'll secure that solo kill there.
Yeah,
and
nice
gold is gold. Was that a shutdown?
I don't believe so. No. But it's 300 gold into your Diana. It pulls Nami off of the map. It takes the Baron buff off of her. It's not a big thing in the scheme of things, but every little bit is nice.
Yeah. Every bit of gold is nice. We do see Righty using that TP bot lane just to catch that wave. Christensen and Mercy is both shoved in. So there's no TP left on Riley. And it kind of feels like MM, you know, whilst they secured this Baron, what are they doing with it? You got Joshua
this is very
slowly
strange.
pushing the top lane. Mercius
Slugs
just
goes to pick up
slowly
red
holding
buff.
the bot lane. Yeah, and Slugs doing red buff.
It seems that they don't want to ult his
Look at
engage.
this out, huge damage going on to Riley. Christensen showing just how ahead he is. Sora now looking in this 1v2,
Sora
going for that full
really
engage combo. Also not even there yet.
Christensen's got
Mercy's
stuff back up
gonna
though.
zone her away with that ultimate, and now Sora left into the minions as well as Christensen, but actually will survive that. Tibbers taking the brunt of the damage. Meanwhile, in the base, we do see Slugs themselves and Joshua walking over the remaining members of AE, securing both mid inhib and most likely top inhib as well as the rest of MM. Secure that last outer tower.
Yeah,
And it's just not Buster alive and
game.
Sora, and it's Nexus tower's falling. Can they stop this? It's not looking likely as these Baron minions come through.
With no ultimate on Leona.
Joshua actually looking for that engage. That Slugs themselves blowing up, or Buster ulting
Slugs a bit
away.
too close here.
Getting that reset. Get away from
Takes a lot of
Riley. Now
hits.
Riley actually running away, looking for that pick on Gleason rolling. She's going to be ulting away, dodging that stun from Christensen. Second Nexus tower is falling. Meanwhile, the rest of MM are looking at that bot tower. All of the Forge God. Headbutt not going to connect. And Slugs is just able to wait for these cooldowns to Lee Sin rolling, getting back up to health. And that's all in his down. All Nexus towers down. Just the Nexus alive. A nice Tibbers blowing up Draco. Sora will be falling to that explosive charge too. Riley cannot look for this engage as the Infernal Sword blows him up. It's just made alive as his first Nexus as this Nexus will fall, giving game 1 to MM.
Fairly clean game actually. There's a few mess ups from MM there. People just sort of randomly getting caught out. But overall, they do well.
They do indeed. And we didn't get a post-game screen for that, which is no fun. But I'm going to pop in chat an MVP vote for our winning team. See who you think it was. So we had Renekton. Yeah, I've got to remember because
Renekton, Nunu, Annie, Tristana, Nami.
I think I can type that fast.
Oh, come on, you can type that fast.
It's got to be player names as well.
Personally, I think most of them played well enough here. In terms of who you would give the MVP to, I'd say you give it to either Renekton, Nunu, or Tristana. Those would be my 3 big ones. Just because I did notice Nami, Lee Sin on the Nami getting caught out a few times, where he really shouldn't have been placed. He was in placements. He shouldn't have been placed. But whatever, my brain appears to be dying. And then I don't think the Annie really was well played into the the Diana, or it wasn't played to its full extent into the Diana. I think it could have been a lot more oppressive, really pushing down that Diana early.
Yeah, I'm actually just looking at this MVP, but I can't really decide who I want to give my MVP to.
Yeah, I'm also thinking. So chat, you got to vote on an MVP because it does go into our overall statistics on who gets the MVP. And that is not really important, but in some ways, I guess it's important.
For ego points, yes.
For ego points, it's important, and for being able to say, look, I was really good.
I think I'm going to throw my MVP vote to... I'm toying between Slugs and Lee Sin Rollum. Just because I think, once again, the bot lane of MM just had such a quality performance. And actually just really showed up this game. They had Dragon Control whenever Merceus needed them to. You know, they won lane from minute 1. And it's... what more did they need to do?
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, I think most of them played well enough here. You can consider anyone for the MVP. It's just what people think in chat is the most. We don't actually have that many people in chat right now, so it'll be interesting to see what the outcome is.
Yeah, currently it's looking like 2 votes for Slugs and 1 for Merceus. So it's looking like Slugs might be getting that MVP of this match. As we load up game 2. Or at least I've got game 2 ready.
We're just getting game 2 ready. Yep, I also have game 2 ready. I just haven't sorted out things yet. It looks like Slugs takes the vote with 3 votes there to 1 on Merceus and none for the rest of the team. So, really piloting that Tristana well, and ends up getting the MVP for it.
Yeah, congratulations to Slugs there. So, have you got game 2 loaded up? Are you ready?
I do, but let's have a little chat first about what was picked on both sides.
We can indeed. I tell you what, whilst
because
I'll
we can
hide
notice
the
some...
results screen there so we can check and have a look whilst we do this. And then
we can notice some similar picks to last time. So Dracosi has again got himself the Ornn. This time he's trying Grasp. So wants a little more lane pressure than the spellbook was affording him. Honestly, I don't think he was using the spellbook that well, so I think that's completely fine. Personally, I do like to go Grasp myself. Because
I kind of forgot he had spellbook.
Yeah,
I think
that's a big thing. Riley has the Diana again. I think Riley was doing fine on Diana. I just think he didn't manage to get far enough ahead, so he wasn't able to one-shot people. So I don't mind him getting his hands on Diana again. In terms of what else we have, that's the same from last game. Slugs and Snails has Tristana. Our MVP from last game has the same pick. I'm going to assume that means that AE thought the real problem in that bot lane was the Nami, and so they decided to ban the Nami, and Lee Sin this time is playing the Lulu. Lulu is a great champion. Yeah, it can be used really well in combination with Tristana jumping into Lulu ult to CC people as Tristana jumps in. And Merceus this time has the Hecarim, not main. But a quick rundown of what we have on both sides. So this time we have... Oh, you can see it all on the screen. But we have MM on the blue side, Joshua on Darius, Merceus on the Hecarim, Christensen on that Kassadin, Slugs and Snails has the Tristana again, and Lee Sin has the Lulu. Whereas on the other side for AE, Dracosi yet again has Ornn. Main this time has the Kindred, playing it into the Hecarim. Riley has Diana again, and the bot lane this time, Arbusto has Ashe, and Sora has Zillion.
Thank you for that quick rundown. Now, before we hit play, I'm just going to swap us away from this screen so that chat doesn't see the results too early. Are you ready? In 3... Are you ready?
Yes.
Yeah.
I am
3,
ready.
2, 1, play. Right. And now I can switch us back to the game screen, as I'm not going to spoil the result for chat seeing that timer there.
Yeah.
Secretly, this is just my way of flexing the scene transition there.
Exactly. Could just use P, but...
Oh, my P doesn't... my one doesn't work.
Oh.
It's because I've rebound that.
in
And of
terms
course the pre-game for accept. Sorry, carry on. I've interrupted you twice there.
In terms of items, things to take note of. Ornn again has that corrupting pot. Zilean has taken the spell thieves, so looking to be a bit more aggressive, whereas Lulu has the relic shield, so should be sitting back a bit more and scaling this time from the bot lane of Madly Mediocre. Will that actually happen? Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. The scaling this time, I would say, is definitely on the side of Madly Mediocre with that Hecarim, with the Castin, with the Tristana. They get an early flash.
This flash already. Another level 1 flash gone from AE.
Yeah, interesting point. Never stand in that bush. If ever you just want to cover that entrance, you're much better off standing in the bush further back on the other side of wolves, because you can see people coming, gives you more than enough time to walk away.
This one here.
Which, and yeah, it means that they can get a ward in, but they could get a ward in anyway if they really wanted one. I'd like to see the early invades from the Kindred, using the fact that Diana should have the push on Kassadin to pull down it into the jungle with him and put this Hecarim behind. Will that happen? We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, this is not going to be a fun lane for Christians to pick up on that. Diana being rough for Kassadin. You do have that magic damage shield, which will help you in these trades as well as the fleet footwork. But as much as you've got for trading back, there's not a whole lot Christian can do. Especially considering there's not, Riley's not going to do a whole lot for Christians in E to stack.
I'd like to see lots of short trades in this bot lane from Arbusto and Sora. Arbusto has the fleet footwork, so he's able to heal himself up. Slugs and Snails has pressed the attack, so he can't really heal up. The more you can get slight poke on, just taking an auto attack for an auto attack is favourable.
Sora actually getting these early bombs out to get those little bits of early trade, which is always good. Actually, every bomb hitting so far, Sora.
But I'd like to see him auto-attacking as well. Get those extra autos in there. Get that little bit of extra damage.
Yep, anything.
And that's it. Just keep pushing that advantage. Just keep auto-attacking. That's what you
want. Turning into a little cheerleader, Sora there. Keep going.
Yeah,
keep pushing it.
Sora.
Keep
pushing. Keep pushing.
Keep throwing those bombs.
You got those bombs.
Yeah,
yep.
Okay, level 3 engage in the mid lane. There we go. That's exactly how Riley plays this. You get so much trade potential onto Kassadin. The only issue is that Christians start with the Corrupting Potion and Riley started with the D-Ring, which just means that Riley's going to run out of mana much before Christensen is, especially considering he's going for these early trades as well. So for Christensen, all he needs to do is survive and just keep proccing that fleet footwork, get that little bit of health back. There you go, Riley's almost out of mana and Mercy's coming in very fast, a lot of damage from that charge.
Riley tries to hold the flash
Not a lot of CC, but the slow is enough for Christensen and Mercy's to finish him off as that first blood going over to Mercius.
You know what? It's pushed up, ends up giving up first blood. Oh, that's unfortunate as well. Kindred Spark spawns on the top side of the map when Kindred has pathed towards the bottom. Unlucky.
Yeah, unlucky that 50-50 split on that first scuttle. Not quite going to get it this time, main. Coin flip games. But it doesn't look like he's finished bot lane as he's pathing towards MM. Isn't going to be spotted in the river. But actually, Simpson's going for this engage. Could be unfortunate timing, but also taking a lot of damage. Exhausted already, but using that heal as well. Now in the 3v2, but themselves getting that jump reset will be enough damage. And of course, with the kill reset as well, it's able to jump away. But now Lee Sin will be flashing over the stun from Zilean. And May just can't output the damage needed, but actually Slugs turning this around with the explosive charge and nice polymorph, and that'll be the second kill in the 3v2, and now Slugs themselves and Lee Sin both alive. Sora left to run away, but a huge turnaround. 3v2, 2-0.
Disaster for AE. Yeah, as soon as the enemy bot lane there jumped forwards onto your Ashe Zilean, I would have expected maybe the Zilean speed up on the Ashe just so she could run away, or you expect the Kindred honestly to just flash the wall and get straight in there so that you have your 3v2 and not a 2v2 into another delayed 2v2. Someone did point out that I think taking on here is a big mistake. I'd say they're just looking to neutralize that top side of the map, get something that's going to give them a bit more scaling potential later on. Of course, they won't outscale, but it will help keep them in the game for longer than they would have been, especially if they start to fall behind.
That's actually coming in this top lane and not back. And that's just one Q from Joshua is enough damage to finish off the Crossy there.
I think it's a terrible choice, but you gotta be careful how you play it. Oh
Main
my
coming
god,
in this mid lane.
3.
Christian taking a lot down, forced to flash away. That is going to
Like
proc.
it's out,
Riley
like
going for that
this.
second dash,
Oh,
but taking the
Main
tower
doesn't
shot.
get-
Christiansen's still alive. 2
doesn't
tower
get the
shots to
ultimate
main
attack.
as well. But Christiansen, level 5, can't Rift Walk to finish either of those off.
All May needed was one auto attack on Christensen there, and they would have picked up the kill. He cancelled 2 separate auto attacks. Oh, they're so close. So close.
Very
Honestly,
unfortunate.
if I was main in that situation, I'd have just waited for Riley to hit 6. But now Christian 6 hits first. Riley can't approach the wave. Christian can abuse that Rift Walk, zone him away.
Yeah, I'd like to see Riley just take it back now. What are you
It's
really
tough
gonna
because
get?
if Riley base is here, there's the slow push pushing towards Christensen, so he loses so much XP. So much XP in
Loses so much
gold.
XP, but he can TP back in. And he pretty much can't walk up anyway right now. You can see all he's doing is sitting by his tower and hoping Christensen's actually going to hard shove that wave. Which you
The
can see
call
he's
from
not.
MM, looking around this dragon. Bomb going to land
Nice
on some
poke
cells,
coming
still
out.
not quite going to connect. And it's a 3v4, but the rest of AE don't know he's there. And Christensen going to get Rift Walk onto Riley, who's got no mana.
Riley's
So
only
himself
level
jumping
5.
in onto main there. Bomb connecting. We finished off.
Main's
Doesn't get
only
another jump
level
reset.
4.
Meanwhile, this top side of the map, Mercius and Christensen blowing up. Main, it's just Sora now left in this 1v1, flashing away. Call the Forge God is used. Dracocy TP'd in behind them, but now in the 1v3, Christensen will be using that Rift Walk to finish off Sora in the top side. One man in this 1v3 does actually manage to finish off Lee Roll in there, but in the final, Rift Walk will finish off Dracocy.
Yeah. This is really not good. Yeah, so the team that should be outscaling is getting the early kills. Ouch. What can you really do here? Well, there's not too much. Honestly, you just gotta try and play towards your item spikes now. You can always bring back a game trying to play towards your item spikes. You use the fact that finishing an item is such a big jump in power to even up a little bit that gold disparity.
Yes, it is. Yeah, for those who know the results of this game, please don't spoil it in chat for those who do not know it, as it was, yes, played on Friday. Josh actually get a nice double grab on this mid lane, so was jumping in straight away. The bomb stun will
Beautiful
connect,
stun, but it's not
stops the
enough.
ult from Joshua, but the bomb charge
Augusto
is enough to
also
finish
probably
off
dead
one.
here.
And a nice slash from Slugs themselves to cancel that last auto from Augusto into the bush. A double kill on Slugs themselves, 5-0. It's not even 10 minutes and AE have fallen 5,500 gold behind.
Honestly, Slugs is just putting out masterclass on Tristana right now. Silver versus gold. It's actually the overall rank of AE, I think, averages out to about silver 1, gold 4, and the overall rank of Madly Mediocre averages out to somewhere between gold 4, gold 3. So, yeah, you would expect the favourites to be mad here, but the disparity is not so big
That you'd expect 11-1 in 8 minutes.
Oh yeah, it's an unfortunate game.
Okay, for that 8-minute lane swap ready for the next Herald to for the Herald play to come out. So it's going to soak up some solo XP just before Lee Miron arrives. And Draco can't step up into this wave. If you look at Draco's build, he's got the Catalyst and components for Merc Treads, which means lading into Slugs themselves is not something he can do right now.
I think what he was thinking was he saw that the Caston had a lot of kills and thought, right, I need this early MR.
You forgot about that 5-0 Tristana.
You forgot about the Tristana and the Darius that you should be laning into. Honestly, I think this lane swap actually benefits AE slightly more. Because yes, Tristana and Lulu are able to push in, but
I think
You're
MM
also
went for
just
the lane
giving-
swap hoping to go for this Herald play, but they haven't done it yet. And I
You
feel
can
like
see
they
it
don't
ping something
understand
down
that
onto
that's what
Riley.
that lane swap is usually for. Usually, if you're going to swap your bot lane at about 8 minutes, you usually swap them bot and then make the play for the Herald. Or swap top even make the
team
play for the
main
Herald.
is level 5. Yeah, you can see now now Augusto and Sora are just getting basically free plates and free farm, where before they were actually being contested for it.
Speaking of, Josh actually getting a nice grab onto Augusto. Won't be able to do anything with it though. But yeah, meanwhile in the topside jungle, Mercius going for the Scuttle Crab. And it does look like they're not going to go for the Herald. Please start it. Okay. Nope, he's not going to start the Herald. That's what the lane stops for. You want to engage in the top lane? Draco going to take a lot of damage from that bomb, but never mind, actually seeing in this mid lane.
Okay,
Riley
they should go for a tower dive top now. Look how low they've got the Ornn. They're choosing instead to go for this Herald. I mean, the Herald is
at least
technically
they're taking the Herald, which is what the top side rotate was originally for.
Herald is worth about a kill. You could just kill the Ornn under tower and then slam the tower for a load of plates and end up getting more gold than you would have gotten with Herald. It looks like Ornn has decided to stay though, so they probably are going to be able to do it anyway.
Yeah, if we actually pan back up to the top lane, Herald is put down, Forge God is called as
That's
well.
It's
not going to connect the Forge God as well. And then the final explosive charge from Suck Cells will finish him off, as well as that Herald landing for the platings. And this is a lot of gold that's getting put into Slugs and Cells once again. Now, what kind of worries me is that Draco went for this Ornn pick for a second game in a row. Last game, he only managed to hit one of those Call of the Forge Gods. And this game is currently at 0. I don't think the Ornn pick is something that Draco should be picking here. It's clearly not something that's in his pool.
I was surprised that they were picking Ornn in the first place. Looking at his champion pool, it looks to be a lot more sort of bruiser focused. And I think you just...
He's been put on Ornn duty and he can't do it.
Putting people on what's comfortable.
And Kristen going for that Riftwalk trade in the mid lane. Merciless is there to follow up, ready for him to slam right into his tower, but he may not be actually ready, turning for that ultimate. But nice flash from Christensen into the onslaught shadows. It's another kill over from Mercy. Actually, Main shows up. Actually pops his ultimate. Christensen will be able to stay alive here. Now Main on his own, forced to flash out, saving Christensen with his own ult.
Christensen had no mana, he had that. Oh.
Infernal Drake is alive.
Disaster. Exactly.
Are in the area.
You can see Main's really struggling here on this Kindred as well. I don't know if it's a regular pick he's used to playing.
He was in vision, didn't check the bush behind him, and one Riftwalk combo. Main's gone. And that second dragon going to be going over to Madly Mediocre. You see Roland just trying to zone away the bot lane. Actually, sometimes going for the engage. A nice ultimate from Lucian Roland will get the knockup. And now Hynobusser with no mana can't cast that Enchanted Crystal Arrow. That'll be a double kill going over to Slugs and Sails. Right, he could get caught in this mid lane. That's just going to get that headbutt. Actually turns back in. Christian's there with blue buff, so we'll be able to Riftwalk again. Deciding to back away though. Is there really anything AE can do here?
You can turtle. You can turtle and hope that you somehow outscale at some point. Here we go. This is what I wanted to see from Main the entire time. I wanted to see it in the enemy jungle pressuring out this Hecarim, because Kindred really can pressure out that Hecarim early. It's a bit late, but he could still be doing it.
I mean, yeah, even if they do turtle, I mean, have the Kassadin and the Tristana and the Hecarim, which are all, amazing scales when it comes to the late.
Yeah, you're hoping that your multiple life-saving devices in the Kindred ult and the Zillion ult are going to allow you to basically outdo that Kassadin jumping in. You'll get a lot of damage down onto him while the person's respawning, or while the Kindred ult's on, and you hope you one-shot him as he gets off his last Riftwalk or whatever it is. It's not unplayable. They can still win this. It's very hard to do.
I mean, Riley gonna get finished off just while farming. Call of the Forge God does connect. Gets the knockup onto Lisa be rolling, but it doesn't mean a whole lot. Actually, gets the double knockup. He's not taking a lot of damage. Main looking to finish him off, but the ultimate used on himself. Meanwhile, Suncel's going for that jump in. Zillion used on Main, but now Suncel's looking in an uncomfortable spot. Red buff is ticking, but he's actually going to survive TP coming out from Christensen. Will deter AE away.
I honestly think it might have been worth following that up, even if you get yourself killed. It's a 700 gold bounty on the Tristana. Honestly, if you give 300 gold to the Kassadin, to the Tristana, to whoever, it doesn't matter if you can get that extra 300 gold. That's 1,000 gold that would come back for your team from that kill.
It would be, Danny gets a 5-man up with 2 Zillion bombs off and into an Ornn and the MMDCs. It's, there's a very slim chance. But yeah, this is basically MM's game to throw away now. we're 15 minutes in. They have 8.9k gold advantage, or 9k now. Yeah, they have a 9,000 gold advantage. The stats spreadsheet is gonna love this. It's gonna skew their further games. Their gold lead at 15 is gonna be permanently skewed by this 9,000 lead. And again, Slugs and Seals going for this engagement. Actually, main there to punish it.
In a 2v3.
Busto actually gonna get that shutdown gold going onto a Busto. That's 1,000 gold in to that Ashe. Now at least he's rolling on his own. Mercy's there to follow up, but actually we get stunned.
Beautiful stun there from Sora.
Right, there's Sora's bomb there, yeah.
Hopefully he's too
Onslaught of Shadows, but actually the ultimate from Kindred, actually 100% walking away from Kindred's ultimate will be finished off while Christensen comes inside. Doesn't actually have the mana to do anything more.
They're very low here under the tower, and that is a Kassadin.
Kassadin with no mana though. Kassadin with no mana.
I think he has enough mana to ult.
It depends. Because if it's 50 mana Rift Walk, it's not going to be enough damage.
He has 300 mana to ult. Yeah, it depends which Rift Walk is lasting long enough now that it's not going to matter.
Speaking of that kill, that Albusto picked up does finish off his Bork, his Berserker Greaves, and picks up 2 extra daggers as well.
In the scheme of things, does this matter? Not really.
Actually, if you look at the item difference between the bot lanes now, granted there is a, 2,200 gold difference. But they're both
the main difference is
one item
in that,
completed.
CS. But overall, considering how stacked Kassadin is, he's almost got that Roa stacked as well. Actually, it's up
What's
to 7.
the tier stacks on that? Be interesting to see. 124. So yeah, that's a long way away.
Oh, he's not. I didn't actually see whether he went into the Roa before the tier.
Yeah, he went Roa before tier, I think.
Which is interesting. It gives him a bit more early pressure, but really slows down that scaling. Which actually is going to work out pretty well here for AE. It gives them a window where Kassadin's not going to have his tier fully stacked.
Interestingly,
that
it
they
looks
can
like
maybe use.
MM are actually posturing up to this Herald, looking to finish that off, and maybe not even bother with this Dragon. So first mount, they've taken Herald, they're looking to own at the mid tower. Actually, I think they're playing. Okay, AE have to make the decision here. Do they take Dragon, or they just watch Mad and Mediocre push down their towers? Or do you play as main and take Wraith Camp?
Well, he needs a stack.
That's two. Okay, that's 2 towers. But they didn't even get the Dragon. Draco actually does land the call to Forge God. Mercius gets knocked up, and yeah, Maddie Mediocre can summon that Rift Herald. Looking for the fight here. Mercius gets a nice knock up from the walls, and a huge ultimate will land 3 into the Lulu ultimate. And where are AE going? Lee Sin isn't even finished. Riley exhausted, can't finish off that kill. We'll trade it for 1, and it's 4 for 1. Draco on his own. And AE just disappeared.
And Christensen doesn't decide to try and follow up that kill on the Ornn, just turns back. This might even be game here if they really want to push this down.
They're going to take the inhib, turn around,
play it safe, back off, get that Dragon.
Look for that Dragon. But yeah, so they took the Herald, they rotated mid, took 2 towers. All in this time the AE were like, okay, let's start Dragon. Oh, we can't do Dragon. And then they slowly walked up and, main was doing Wraiths, looking for that stack. And it's all this time Mediocre knew they could force this. And worst comes to worst, they lose a Dragon. But they push and they get so much for it.
Main is still on 3 stacks, not really reached that point yet that Kindred really needs to reach. Yeah.
We do finally see some armor coming out from Draco.
Yeah. And they have super minions to farm up some extra gold and XP.
It's something.
It's something.
However, I feel like, MM can either wait this 4 minutes for the Dragon to spawn, get Mountain Soul, end the game. They can, Baron spawns in 20 seconds. They can possibly look for that too. Force a fight or take free Baron and end the game. Or they just need one favourable team fight and that's it.
They just need one pick,
on their
really.
last legs. Looking for the pick here.
Main is waiting for the rest of his team to get close. Just getting a little bit of poke down there.
Actually walking into Mercius there. Chunk is like, alright, he's going to catch on Christensen, but the ultimate from main is going to keep himself alive. But it's stacked with the Zillion ultimate.
Well.
Mercy's finishing him off there.
The rest of the team
not
is
going to
just
save
melting.
him. Actually, where is the rest of going? Draco getting a huge combo there. It's just Slugs actually alive still. But with Slugs themselves and Christensen,
the rest of their team is just melted.
It doesn't matter. In that
they
4v5, they go
Will they
5-2. It didn't occur to me until the very end that Joshua wasn't even there.
Yeah, Joshua was actually walking from mid lane into bot lane. I think he could have just pushed mid and ended the game, honestly. The wave clear on the side of AE right now is really bad. Ashe has not yet finished her Runans. She's still sitting on 3 daggers. It's just that balk to push through those super minions. You can actually watch, and it's gonna lose about a third of her health clearing 1 super minion there.
It's rough. That's 2 towers secured in the meantime for MM.
Yep, they do get the 2 altars, which is a thing. It is
a
thing.
Securing every last objective they can.
So, I mean, there's not much else to say here. MM, I would expect to just go have loads of wards on the top red side jungle and then start the Baron and only get the Baron low if AE don't come to contest it.
Interestingly enough, actually, if you look at MM's, warding in general, it's pretty much all scattered around AE's jungle. It's not particularly focused around this Baron. And if you look at AE, it's
you can see
kind of all over the place.
Riley is actually going to manage to pick up the blue buff, which is
small wins.
Small win, yeah. Very,
so
very
actually
small
going to
win.
look for this pick here. W's over the wall, and Albosso taking 3 auto attacks. Didn't even need the explosive charge. 3 auto attacks was enough for Slugs themselves to finish him off. Actually, the ultimate coming out from Mercy's as well. Rarely deleted from the map.
And there's the blue buff transfer onto the Lulu. And I expect them to just push in an end here.
You do see Christensen isn't that topside as well?
Yeah, I think they're just being too cautious here. They can just end the game.
Chris actually looking at this topside play. Gonna probably finish off Draco here.
With both Tristana and Diana dead, they really don't need to play this cautiously.
And now with Ornn dead as well, they can finish off that bot inhibitor. I think they're just waiting for the waves to come in now. Because, despite what we've said about AE's wave clear, they are managing the waves pretty decently. 1 auto, 2 auto attacks. Main's dead.
There we go. Now they'll try and end the game. No? Maybe? They're just going to really slowly push these waves in. Maybe Tristana will hit the towers eventually. I hope so.
Who knows, we could have a 40-minute game coming into our hands here.
Those are 580 damage crits.
Opting instead to StarCraft them taking literally everything before touching those Nexus towers. Call the Forge God is used. Draco getting the knock up onto Mercius into the Enchanted Crystal Arrow. Actually, Riley looking for that ultimate.
Down.
Doesn't connect who he wants. Fine. Meanwhile, Slugs and Christensen in this backline. Kindred is popped. Some cells actually opting to jump out of it. Will fall, but now Joshua and Christensen alone. No blue buff on Christensen, but actually taking the Nexus towers, but Travis isn't enough to keep him alive. Draco's still alive. Turn around
they bought themselves some time.
Joshua and Lisa Rolling looking to get this in, but Joshua has no mana. Lisa Rolling is polymorphing just to slow him down. Inhibitor does drop. Now Lisa Rolling looking for that escape. Will take you shield, but actually the knockout wall from Draco will be enough.
So here's the problem. If you leave a game long enough just slowly pushing in, eventually the other team will find a way to get a nice engage for themselves. They might take the wrong engage, that's true. Or they might actually get a good engage and a good fight like AE managed to do here and stall out the game for a bit longer, giving themselves a chance to come back.
Mercius does finish off their Cloud Soul, Mountain Soul in the meantime.
Ashe does have that Runans now, which is another really big power spike for her.
We've got one more level. We're going to see Ornn items coming out for people that aren't Ornn. Still not upgraded boots though. Don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, they're very useful. I can kind of see with how high on levels he was getting. He wanted the 2 Ornn items, but finishing off the gargoyles afterwards, I suppose he will be in the middle of the enemy team.
but they're not really focusing him very often. So yeah, interesting choice.
Speaking of, Draco looking for the camp there, but actually themselves and Christensen will be there to deny it away.
Used.
Finish him
Overall,
off.
Yeah, the stone plate was not enough there to keep him alive. Would boots have been enough to keep him alive? Who knows? That's 12% less damage on each auto attack and some extra move speed. MM finally turned towards Baron. Yet again, they're choosing to take the Baron as opposed to straight up attempting to end the game. Maybe they're a bit put off by the previous fight they managed to lose.
Here's Baron.
I would expect them now to just push down.
Clearing out some walls, it's going to be let to get away there. Ghost put by Joshua as we a speedy Darius. Still not going to connect from Sora. But nice slow will get Joshua out of their face, but now a huge onslaught of shadows. Sora will use that on himself. It's still alive. Call the Forge God is used, and Chakras are going to land onto Mercius. Forge God will not connect once again. And that is Draco left to get away. Riley diving in deep, getting the 4-man ult, but it finished before he can finish channeling. Only 4 members of AE alive now. First S tower is falling. There's a lot of Baron up minions there. Joshua looking to zone him away. Actually getting a nice grab onto main, forcing his ultimate away there. Second S tower is falling. Nexus is going down. Joshua not finished as Nexus falls as a 2-0 to MM.
Yep. I mean, that game was cleaner than the last game. I think it was a stronger win than the last game, but they did take quite a while to finish it out. It was only 26 minutes in the end, but I feel like the game didn't need to be 26 minutes long. By quite a long way.
Yeah, it was definitely could be finished out earlier. But I will throw our MVP vote into chat once again. Who is your MVP?
I think you can give it to multiple people, but I would expect it to go to the Tristana again, just because she got so fed early and really pushed that bot lane pressure ahead. There were some weird rotations, but again, you can't put that on the players a lot of the time, because that will be a team decision or a shot caller decision, and we don't know who the shot caller of the team is. So I think the way he actually played the Tristana was quite good. He did get caught out a few times nearer to the end of the game, which was unfortunate. I think he could have focused more on the towers as opposed to just auto-attacking minions, and they could have ended the game a lot faster. But overall, I think maybe he would have been my pick for MVP.
Well, you can now vote in chat as well for your MVP.
It's not to say the rest of the team didn't do well, of course.
I mean, no, the whole of MM
We're always going to say that.
Great, both games.
Yep, and there were some really massive ultimates from Mercius there that feared people actually out of the Kindred ult in a few times. I did notice that. The ultimate was used, knocked people outside of the Kindred ultimate using the fear. They get them to get picked up as a kill, which did get quite a few of the kills. Yeah, we'll have to see how the teams vote in terms of what this really means and what we'd be looking at. It gives us 2 people towards the top of the table and 2 people towards the bottom of the table.
Now, looking at our lower bracket as a whole, because we've now seen all 4 teams play. How do you think AE are going to perform up against teams like GTR Red or Valkyrie 5? Because they had a fairly unconvincing showing against Man the Mediocre here.
Yep. So I think they'll struggle into Valkyrie 5, but Guardians of the Rift Red I think will be quite an interesting game. I think there's a lot of room for improvement here on Aguias, because I don't think that they played it particularly terribly. It was more a case of you could just see the areas where they could focus and improve themselves. I think a lot of that will come from finding a drafting style that really works for them and a play style that really works for them. So I think they should just focus right now on getting one play style under their belt.
Obviously, they swap from the Hecarim, which is quite a passive playstyle, usually towards the start of the game, where you farm up, to trying to use Kindred, which wants to be quite aggressive, and that didn't work out for them either. If they, oh wow, we've got a split vote.
MVP vote between Mercius Hecarim and Slugs' Tristana.
Sure, I'll work out how we focus that in terms of points
then we
later
just
on.
put in our votes. What did you vote on the poll?
Oh, I did vote already.
Oh, I didn't
put
vote
one
on
in
the
for
poll.
Slugs. I vote on the polls.
I forget. I set them up and I'm just like, oh, I forget to vote.
There you go. You have the deciding vote.
I kind of want... Okay, so I know I talked up Slugs when I was talking about MVPs, but I kind of do want to give it Mercius in respect to, you know, he played great this game, also played great last game, so I think, you know, we gave Slugs MVP game 1, Mercius can have it for game 2.
There we go. Mercius gets MVP for game 2 here of Madly Mediocre versus Aguias. As I was saying before, yeah, I think we see there's room for improvement in Aguias, and I don't think that that's going to be very hard for them to improve. I think they could come back and challenge these teams if they put their mind to it and focus on the points or on the basic points that they can work around and improve. Simply just finding a drafting style that works for them and a team comp type that works for them will really help out.
Not forcing someone who clearly doesn't play Ornn onto Ornn both games. I think, yeah, we talked about this in the game about, you know, don't pick meta, pick comfort. This is the either where you don't have to think, oh, we need an Ornn because Ornn good. It's, oh, our top laner plays, I don't know, Nasus. Get him on that Nasus.
Our top laner tends to play bruisers. Let's get him on a bruiser and let's play towards working around that. You can build a bruiser more tanky. You can build a bruiser to be frontline and not to be one shot. So it's not like it's unusable or anything like that. In terms of Madly Mediocre, of course, we've got to now think how are they going to stack up when it comes into GOTR Red and how they're going to stack up when it comes into V5.
I'm really excited to see Madly Mediocre versus Valkyrie 5.
I think this should be very interesting because both of them do seem like they, or in their games so far, have done quite well in those, or have done quite well in the bot lane. There was some struggles against GOTR Red, so I'll be quite interested to see that as well. Considering these teams are all doing fairly well through their bottom lanes, I think it'll be very interesting to see how these matches play out.
Very interesting indeed.
And also, will Slugs get Tristana again? I wonder. I think Tristana is his most played pick as well.
I think maybe some respect towards that Tristana could definitely change some results that we see from MM. But that being said, the rest of MM did also have some quality performances as well.
Tristana's not his most played pick, but it's the pick that he looks best on with the 75% win rate with the 4.2 KDA. Yeah, and I think he really looks comfortable on the Tristana. I wouldn't be surprised to see that banned and just allowing him to pick up Caitlyn or Ashe instead. Like we say, sure, yeah, it's all about comfort. If you're really comfortable on the Ashe and you know the enemy team's highest comfort is not the Caitlyn, you pick that Ashe into Caitlyn. You let them pick the Caitlyn and you pick the Ashe into it because you know Ashe does fine into Caitlyn. And Ashe just, not Ashe, Caitlyn just got nerfed in fact. So, yeah, there you go.
There you go indeed. Now, as for our second game, Guardians Rift versus Guys in Real Life, the earliest we were expecting that game was about 7:30. So what we'll probably do is drop stream for now, have a quick break, because I don't want to leave the stream running for an indefinite amount of time, not knowing when this game's going to start, as we're just waiting for them to finish.
Considering they're 5 minutes into a game right now,
we could be waiting 35 minutes plus.
Yeah.
So yeah, I will drop the stream and we will see you guys very shortly, within the hour, for Guardians of the Rift versus Guys in Real Life, the hyped up matchup for our upper league, who both 2-0'd last week. But until then, goodbye guys.
See ya.